I've had a lot of questions about how I made my heart paperweight, so I'm just going to do a quick video on how I made it. This is the mold that I'm using. It's a stainless steel biscuit cutter that I purchased from Amazon. It's about 1.5 inches deep and 2.5 across at the widest point. And I just used it as a template and outlined it on the inside of the cutter. You want your hearts to fit down in there nicely. I'm going to line it with some kiln paper, and so you want to take that into consideration. When you're cutting it out, I just cut inside the line. It doesn't have to be perfect. You've got enough layers, it's going to fill in any open spots, so you just cut the heart out. And like I said, you want to go to the inside of the line. It's basically just a rough cut. Like I said, all you want is for it to fit inside there. Doesn't matter if it's a little sloppy, because in the end we're going to have 7 layers. I'm going to cut 6 of the clear and 1 in white to put on the back. I've picked 6 of my fish out to add to the hearts. I'm going to put 2 of them on 3 of the layers. I don't like to put too many, because then they're just going to cover up the fish on the layer below. You want to have enough space in between them that they're not blocking each other. But these are the 6 fish I'm going to use. When you place your fish on the hearts, you want to keep in mind where they are on the previous layer, and it's going to sit on the edge when it's finished, so you want to position them so they look like they're facing in the right direction. I'm just going to add just a little bit of glue. I don't put them real close together because I want the glass in between to be able to slump down. If you place them right next to each other like this, the glass in between isn't going to slump down, which means you're going to get a lot more bubbles. All right, that looks pretty good, and I don't think any of them are going to block the other one. Once the glue dries, we can flip them upside down and we'll put them in the kiln and do the first firing. I've placed them in the kiln. You want fish side down. Here's the firing schedule I'm going to use. All right, here are the 3 hearts after the first firing. You can see there's a little hump there, but underneath it's fairly flat. So when I fuse them all together, they'll hold their shape. But I'm going to clean them up real good, and then I'll paint some copper carbonate on them. Here's the copper carbonate that I'm going to use. It's a fine powder. I'm going to mix it with a couple of drops of enamel medium. This brand is Colors for Earth. You can add as much as you like, but I like just fine lines of bubbles. You want to keep in mind where your fish are located at. The bottom one doesn't matter, but as you go up, when you paint the bubbles, I don't like to go across where the fish are on the lower level or the bottom layer. All right, my second layer, it shouldn't matter. This one. I think I'll just make a real short line so I don't go across the other fish. And I think that'll work. Once we get it dry, we'll stack it along with our other pieces. And I think I'm going to use the bottom layer as white Tecta. This is all COE 90, by the way. I have my biscuit cutter, and I've lined it with kiln paper. We'll put the white Tecta on the bottom, smooth side up. It doesn't really matter if you put the fish down or up or the clear, but you want to make sure they're all the same or else your fish won't line up. All right, I'll put the first one and then a clear tecta in between. And then the second one. You have a little bit of movement in there. You can move them around where you want them. Then another clear. The last one with the fish on it. And then the last clear. So it makes 7 layers all together. It's kind of hard to see because of the reflection from the light, but here's what it looks like before we've fused it. We'll put it in the kiln for a full fuse and see how it looks. Here's our firing schedule. Here's the finished paperweight. Came out pretty good, and it sits nicely flat or up on edge.